You're listening to the Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter at TheSlowRidePod. Enjoy the ride.
The Slow Ride Podcast. This is Tim Hayes in Orlando, Florida.
Hi, I'm the little guy in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And this is Spencer Howe in Boston, Massachusetts.
You know, guys, we have amazing chemistry on our introductions and our intros.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, we nailed that one in one.
So I think we really got to come up with a cool whiz-bang type intro for our live show at the Coalition Theater on Friday, September 25th in Richmond, Virginia at 10 p.m.
Yeah. We do.
Do you think we should have like tryouts for do we need to have someone warm up the stage, you know, kind of like an opening comic or something?
Like a podcast fluffer?
Yeah, you know, someone that really just gets the crowd going, and then we come in and just, knock their socks off.
I'm a little worried that we could get upstaged. I don't think we should do that. We're not. Yeah, we've never done a live show. Being that we haven't done a live show yet, I think we should roll pretty conservatively with opening acts.
Have you guys been working on your repertoire for the weekend? I mean, are we just going to wing this thing?
Oh no, I've been writing lots of scripts. They're really good. I got a lot of jokes. I'm working on puns. So many puns.
Well, wait. This is a very serious cycling news related podcast, little guy. We're not making jokes. What are you talking about?
Well, we're not right now, but sometimes we are, and sometimes a joke is a learning experience.
So, for example, one joke would be that, little guy, you know absolutely nothing about cycling because this past week has been the greatest week in the history of Trek racing.
Yes.
Winning the Tour of Alberta in the freezing cold with Bauke Mollema.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, Haimar Zubeldia forgetting that he was off the front for a long time, and we got all very excited for that. Awesome time.
Do you think that he maybe believed that he was invisible all these last few years when he raced his bike because no one had ever seen him? And yesterday he was like, God, it's like they're looking at me. I think they can see me. Oh no, they can see me. And he realized that he's not invisible. That would be almost as scary as being invisible, as going from invisible to non-invisible.
I liked calling you yesterday, little guy, to ask about that. I said, hey, are you watching the stage? Because Zubeldia is off the front. And you're like, do you think he just thinks maybe he's on a training ride? And then, he's just kind of out there on a training ride and then just other people are around.
I can't imagine how else he would wrap his brain around it, being in the front of a bike race all by himself like that, sort of and obviously it just must have been a very confusing experience for Zubeldia. It's been a long time since he had been at the front of things.
I think there's even bigger news than Zubeldia, isn't there?
Yes,
there's bigger news
because Zubeldia didn't even win. He just happened to be up the front, which is pretty big news. But the biggest
good
news
ride. He put
was
in a good,
stage 16 today. Pretty amazing stage with a crazy finishing climb. And as much as I wanted Rodolfo Torres of Team Columbia to take the win, he was upstaged by the wily veteran Andy Schleck.
No.
Andy Schleck? Frank Schleck.
I'm sorry. I got him mixed up.
Our fans do come here for facts every once in a while.
So Frank Schleck takes the win. And guys, it was pretty amazing. He put on quite the show. I was pretty excited for him. How about you guys?
I didn't watch the stage, but I'm banking on little guy having watched it so he can let me know if we saw a full Schleck, which is
what? So I watched
the full unzip.
I didn't. I don't think he full ends it. Maybe he did at some point when I wasn't watching because I was doing stuff and getting ready to get on with my day. When I watched it, no, he never full zipped, and I couldn't believe it because it looked really hot. And I feel like that's the source of his power in the mountains. Is that he fully unzips, and then he gets full Schleck power. Yeah, I think that's probably like I think. We should probably somehow get this information to Trek Factory Racing because Frank's been a little slower the last few years, and it might be because he hasn't been doing the full Schleck, and he just doesn't realize.
If he can win a stage in the Vuelta, stage 16, with as many climbs as there were in this stage, should we be worried at Richmond 2015 Worlds that if a Schleck can do that without even going full Schleck, what's going to happen if he does go full Schleck?
Do you think he's going to go? I hope. I mean, I guess if Luxembourg, they probably get 2 riders, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they'd go, but I mean, I just wonder if he's going to opt out. I hope he goes. That'd be great.
I hope Kim Kirchen comes out of retirement. It's like the Kirchen family and the Schleck family because I hear that and read about how well they all get along together.
They were best of buddies back in the day, I'm sure.
So. Pretty awesome stage. But overall, so congrats to Trek Factory Racing. It's actually been a really exciting week. And the Vuelta has been amazing for them. And it's been really exciting to watch. Can you just imagine if they get a bona fide Grand Tour contender? Like, they can really put it all together? Like a top 5 contender?
You mean besides Zubeldia, right?
Yes. I mean, that's just taken for granted.
Right.
But,
are you talking about Hagedal?
Yeah, that might be the guy.
Because he did get top 5 in a Grand Tour this year.
What do you get in the Giro?
5th.
Okay. Top 4 Grand Tour rider.
See, I thought you were trying to not actually reference Hagedal, but that you didn't realize you were referencing Hagedal.
Yeah,
so, that's good.
Again,
yeah. Well, great.
Guys,
great
we may not just need an opening act at the Richmond live show. We may need a fact checker. Someone that just kind of sits to the side of the stage that can say, hey, guys, Tom Bonin, who was announced to the Belgian national team today, has won in this year, so then we can actually get it all together.
Get our facts. Yeah, we're going to have to bring note cards.
I don't know if we can find somebody that can type fast enough to look up all the information.
So great news from Trek Factory Racing. But of course, the bigger story, guys, is the Vuelta being the best Grand Tour of the year.
Yeah.
I feel like we say this every year that the Vuelta happens. We go into it and we're like, meh, Vuelta. And then halfway through, we're like, it's still happening. And then the last week, we're like, man, this is the most awesome race.
It's pretty good.
It sneaks up on you every single year. And I don't know how that happens.
I don't think this year has been sneaking up on us, though, Spencer. I think we've been this has been a pretty amazing year. Yeah. We are just for results-wise, Joaquim Rodriguez is now been racing for 67 hours and 52 minutes, right?
And
44 seconds.
Yes.
67, so 68 hours, right? That's almost, I'm going to do the math here, 2.5 days.
Yep.
Right? Over 2.5 days.
Yeah.
He's only got a 1 second lead on Aru. That's pretty amazing. And what's crazy is the top 9 guys, the separation for the final step of the podium is less than 2 minutes between Micah and Valverde now at 3 minutes 58 seconds. It's pretty amazing.
Going to be an exciting last week. This time trial is going to be actually exciting. I'm actually excited for the time trial to happen because I'm really excited to see what Dumoulin can do against Aru and Rodriguez and Micah. Micah can time trial a little bit, but Dumoulin's obviously better. But he's got a lot of ground to pick up.
1 minute 51 seconds in the rears. Does he have? Can he take 2 minutes out of Rodriguez and Aru for the win of the red jersey in Madrid?
Yes, he can.
Definitely take that time out of Rodriguez. God, do you guys feel bad for Rodriguez? I mean, forever a bridesmaid, never the bride. I mean, come on. This guy is going to finish with his career at some point. in the next few years he's going to retire, and I just can't see him ever winning a Grand Tour, despite being such a great rider, great stage wins. Obviously, he's one of the best climbers, if not the best climber in the race right now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Rodriguez is he's been doing this long enough that he knows what his Achilles heel is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he hasn't really been able to improve it or possibly tried to improve it. I don't even know.
He must try some, because he obviously comes and tries to win these Grand Tours, and if he ever wants to win one, but I just can't. I can't see him keeping that time on Dumoulin. But Aru could give Dumoulin a run for his money with a minute and 50 seconds.
It's a 40K time trial. So if we're doing our back of the napkin math, 40K time trial.
Oh, I read the napkin. Can I get a piece of paper?
Yeah. Okay. So what's that? Like an hour for us, and then like
for you, yeah,
like 50 minutes for these guys, 45 minutes.
It's going to be, between 45, 50 for most of the top guys, yeah.
Oh, man, it's going to be pretty awesome. I think the entire world is pulling for the butterfly Tommy Dumoulin, unless they're Spanish. Because
the thing is, none of these guys are great time trialists in the top. I mean, they're not like they're terrible, but like Nieve, who the hell knows how he time trials? Chavez, no clue. Danny Moreno? No idea. Quintana's pretty good, so he could leapfrog. But like the difference between Quintana and Nieve in fifth is like half a minute. You know, they're so close.
That's what's amazing. So like, and that's what was really cool, just to see the Quintana going on the attack on the day that Zubeldia was off the front, right? Quintana trying from a ways out, like just leaving it all out there. And what's crazy is Quintana is that close to the podium, and he had a horrible stomach illness that he was talking about, and that's when he tumbled down the standings to 9th place a few days ago. So it's gonna be crazy. And I know
Valverde too. So
now
he could have a good ride. He can time trial.
So there is Madrid, but we still have two kind of a couple hilly stages. We got rest day tomorrow, Tuesday, and then we've got a hilly stage Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, like kind of like 3 intermediate stages, but Saturday looks pretty rough.
Yeah,
I mean, there's still like another day where Dumoulin is going to have to really hang tough.
And especially if he takes the jersey, and everyone forces his team to really ride, because they're not the strongest team.
They got Lawson Craddock though, who's been making some good appearances.
He has been. I know. I saw him in the mountains there the other day.
And we had another American in the break today, Warbass, former Hincapie development rider for IM Cycling, was off the front in the big break. But anyways, guys, the Giro has been absolutely fantastic. And since it was 16th stage, the Vuelta, my bad. Vuelta. Since it was the 16th stage, we held once again another 16th place contest. It was the last one of the year. Unless maybe we do one at the World Championships. And, for 16th place, it is only fitting that Tommy Dumoulin got 16th place on today's stage.
It's true. He's been the hero. He has been the hero lately. And, a smart person would have put them on their Velo Games team.
And speaking of Velo Games, we did our fantasy cycling. And the speed limits is hanging strong in first place. Chocolate and Cheese and Roller Derby rounding out the top 3. Special mention to Keith Richards of Professional Cat 3 Squad and Swift Cycles staying strong in 5th place. And then we do go down to roughly 10th place, and we got the Slow Ride Podcast B team, which is Spencer, who is beating both Little Guy and myself. So, Spencer, great job. Feeling good?
You. Yeah, I'm down to like half of my team left in the race, but I'm still feeling pretty good.
You do have Dumoulin.
Yeah, you got Dumoulin.
And you got Valverde. Valverde will still get you some points at the end there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm feeling good about who I've got left. A few strategic other choices could have been good, but that's all right. I'm okay with it.
And then Little Guy, I think you're almost all the way down to the bottom.
Don't worry. Postavio is gonna have a really good last week.
So I do want to
come out Crush
Uh-huh.
it.
I do want to point out that Alex Kinney, a friend of the podcast, who has the team Schlecks in effect, in fact, did not pick Frank Schleck on his team.
Oh.
So he could have scored some mega points, but
That's
he
a serious
failed.
Schleck oversight.
So, of course, fantasy cycling is a lot of fun, and picking 16th place is great. The 16th place hashtag was awesome. We also got a note from professional cyclocross race superstar Jake Wells, who got 16th place this past weekend at a cyclocross race.
Rochester, UCI, yeah.
UCI race, and he sent that off to us. Which, we're going to have to write a letter to our friend at the UCI headquarters, the one that's hopefully going to get us a press pass to the World Championships, and say, hey, can't we extend out the points? I understand you want to just do the top 8 in a cyclocross race or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe they can still, skip places 9 through 15, but then 16th place you get 1 point. Can you just imagine what it would be like watching a race where there was points on the line for 16th place and then 1st through 8th? There'd be a lot of guys track standing at the start of the line.
It could be good.
Yeah.
It could be good. In the C1s, where you get points all the way down through 15th place.
Yeah.
1 point for 15th. Maybe bump it back up to 2 points for 16th place, just to just to see if people are paying attention.
That'd be pretty amazing.
Have you guys been paying attention to the cyclocross shenanigans that have been happening this week?
We have.
No.
No.
No?
No, all I know is everyone's complaining about water bottles, and I just don't understand. Just put a water bottle on your bike. Just put a water bottle on your bike.
Yeah, well, that should be simple enough, but I think there was some misinterpretation of the rule by the UCI commissaires in Rochester that really screwed things up.
Is the rule that people didn't know how to put a water bottle cage on their bike?
No, everybody
they didn't torque it enough, like the UCI rulebook says. 5
everybody
Newton meters?
started with a bottle, but the UCI said that they could not change bikes in the pit to another bike that had another bottle.
Like a separate bottle. You'd have to transfer the bottle from bike to bike.
You
only got one bottle.
Wait, are you kidding? That's how that rule was interpreted?
That's how that rule was interpreted. If you started with one bottle, that was the one bottle you got for the race. That was the way it was interpreted. I don't know, but they had they have a pit official, so it was, it was like, if you took a bike and it had a bottle, you got dinged. And Ellen Noble was tweeting about that. She got a fine for taking a bike with a bottle on it. She.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's
she's predicted to be in the top. Definitely in the top 5 of that race, I would say. And she finished 14th or something, way, way down. A lot of people struggling in that heat. It was 105 heat index, I guess, and they didn't allow them to take additional bottles. And they didn't allow them to spray down the racers while they were racing, from the sidelines, in the women's race. And then they saw how decimated that field was, and they allowed people to spray down the racers in the men's race. This is all on day 1. On day 2, they figured it out and let them take bottles on the second bike.
So is this what's wrong with cycling, in that people are so rigid, like the people that are the officials, that they can't even do a common sense thing, go wow, it's really hot out. You know what? I'm willing to risk my UCI stripes to let someone take a water bottle on a pit bike. That's totally crazy.
But it's not even that. It's that they don't even know how to read their own rules. I think that's more what's wrong with it.
So
if the rule was just that you couldn't have a water bottle, and it was clearly written enough and clearly interpreted enough by the officials, then that would just be the rule, and we could all petition for a rule change, but we wouldn't have to have this weird bullshit. It's they don't even know their own rules.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that
it sounds like they're just they're enforcing them like that, like a horrible 8th grade science teacher, right?
They enforce them like they know them. That's right. What's most annoying. Is they're very oh no, this is for sure the way. And then later, that same day, someone's oh, you know what? Yeah, we were wrong about that. Yeah. Dang.
Yeah. So it was the UCI doesn't do itself any favors by throwing these new rule changes out, a couple days before the first race. And, I I think they were trying to avoid, like we discussed last week, the Sven Watergate from Vegas last year by just kind of nipping it in the bud before it happened, but without really considering, I don't know, man. You could take feeds in mountain bike races. You could take feeds in road races. You can take feeds in crits when it's that hot. I don't see the problem with creating a feed
You can
zone.
take a feed in the Madison World Championships, like a 200-lap race. And I remember guys coming down into the infield area, like on the apron, taking feeds.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, it's
Yes.
insane.
It's
Every single bike event anywhere, you can take a feed. And I know, they wanted to keep it out of the pits because it was creating chaos, but just make a feed zone somewhere. Like, what's the problem?
Yeah. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, so, Gabby Duran had a series of tweets about how the heat really decimated her race. Jeremy Powers actually wrote a blog post about how just unsafe and uncommon sense it was to run the race like that. And he went out of his way to say, hey, I'm the guy who kind of stays out of these arguments because it's not worth my time, but this is ridiculous. And tons of people, Ellen Noble, Jake Wells, all these people had comments about it. And so it's a big deal when pretty much the entire field of both men's and women's races are against it. So
and it sounds
a
like
mess.
they did a hydration zone today. Like, basically, like, you could ride through to get water bottles, like a little feed zone opposite the pit.
Yeah, with a shower and everything or whatever. Yeah.
It was just...
Was it like the shower
hose.
thing they had at the Beijing Olympics years ago?
I think it was more like a garden hose with a sprayer. Wait,
Okay.
same
sure.
idea, yeah, sure.
Wait, so do you guys know what this course is like? Because why couldn't people just put 2 bottles on their bikes? Like, did they actually need to shoulder the bike at some
There were
point?
some pretty steep up and downs, but I think you could have got by with just running. Yeah, most people had a bottle on their bike though.
Well, why not just run 2 bottles then? I guess it just feels like people are like making like it way more difficult because everyone like wants to run without bottles or run
Right.
with less weight, which makes sense. But like road bikers want to run with less weight, but you have to put bottles on your bike because it's hot out. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I don't get it.
I do...
Yeah.
My favorite part was how Ryan Trebon was all over Twitter making fun of everybody about the water bottles.
Yeah.
Like just kind of trolling everybody. Like,
There were.
Oh, he wasn't
was-
racing.
no, but it was just like kind of being awesome. It was great.
Does he
There
race
were,
anymore, or does he just troll people?
He still races.
Okay, I just thought he just trolled people and made fun of things on the internet.
So yeah, cyclocross is pretty much in full swing. We had Jeremy Powers win the first day, and then some Belgian guy just destroyed everybody on the second day.
Vincent Basans. Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it
He
Timmerman
was,
that was closest to him?
Both
And
days,
then-
Timmerman?
And then who
Yeah.
won the women's day? Spencer.
Day 2.
Yeah. Remember?
Day 2 was Meredith Miller.
Okay.
Day 1, Caitlin Anitu.
Pretty awesome. American women cyclocross continues to get stronger and stronger. I think that's going to be where we see our first world champion.
Can we
For sure.
just throw down a
Besides
Slow
the
Ride
junior
podcast?
world champion that we had years ago.
Yeah. Can we throw down a Slow Ride podcast ruling on this cyclocross hydration situation and just strike down with furious anger the term hydration zone? Like,
Yes.
why is it a hydration zone? Can we just call it the feed zone?
Well, I
like
think
it
it
is
can-
every other.
The hydration zone has so much more sponsorship potential, right?
Mm,
Like, you can
Yeah.
really branch this out to, like, hey, it's Hogan's Biscuits hydration zone. And that sounds a lot
that's
better.
not. It's the Hogan's Biscuits not hydrated zone. We suck the water right out of your mouth in
Yeah.
the Hogan's Biscuit non-hydration zone.
So the key is, I think, is the sponsorship potential of
So
a
you're thinking
hydration zone.
the Surge Cola hydration zone.
Yeah, like, well, and like a hydration zone to me sounds more like, when I hear hydration, I think of, just swimming in the ocean or a freshwater lake, like a bath.
freshwater lake.
It's, hydrating. It's great. There's a hose. A feed zone, I don't know what's going to be handed to me.
But
Is
nobody
that broccoli? Yeah.
nobody gets. I guess the thing is nobody's looking for food.
Nobody's
I
looking
don't
for
know.
broccoli.
People want bacon. That goes in the feed zone.
Is that still happening? People still doing bacon handoff.
Oh, I think that happens more than anything
Water
else
hand,
gets
more than
handed up,
water
yeah.
handoffs.
Yeah.
I just want to know how high up this situation got at USA Cycling, right? Like to the point that the technical director of USA Cycling called like the commissaire and was just like, "Look, you need to use some common sense. It's a 105-degree heat index. These guys can take water bottles. It's not hurting anybody taking a water bottle."
I don't think common sense is written into the rules, though. I mean, that's why they're enforced the way they are, is because there's no room for the commissioner to use common sense.
Ah, okay.
Yep. I looked
All
all through the rule book. Not one mention of common sense, so I'm not going to use it.
All
Yeah,
right.
there's just one hard, fast rule that I read really quickly and didn't really read fully. Done.
All right. Well, we'll
Fair
be
enough.
right back when we finish up the conversation on other cool things happening in the world of cycling.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Jake Wells. Listen to the Slow Ride Podcast.
All right, guys, and there's also been quite a bit of news leading up to the World Championships and also silly season, right? And then
Silly
also
season?
domestic season. What was that, little guy?
Did you say silly season?
Yeah, silly season. You know, it's like the
When
silly
does
stuff.
that officially start? Right now?
It kind of starts during the tour, just like all
Okay.
about the transfers and all that crazy news.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so
That's
it's silly.
season.
It's silly time.
Okay. Got it.
Sadly, we did get word that Smart Stop Mountain Khaki will no longer be around as it currently is. Michael Creed tweeted today that the team is done, that Smart Stop is no longer going to be the sponsor. The team owner wants to continue on the team, but he needs another sponsor. This is a team that brought us a Eric Marcotte national champion. Brought us Eric Saunders, started the team more or less, 10 years ago in North Carolina. And then Adam Meyerson was heavily involved with it. So fans of our podcast know how important this, how much we like this team and how exciting this team has been over the years. So it's very sad to see them moving on.
They really took a dive, man, in my opinion. Like, they were like the scrappy underdog team for so long. And then just like maybe this year, they just made the transition, much like Team Sky did, much like Movie Star does, back and forth, like from good to evil, you know? Like,
I don't know.
I
Like,
don't
why?
know.
Why do you say they're evil? Like, what's the? Like, they just
like
went to.
they became the team to beat,
Okay,
rather
okay.
than the team you were like hoping might be able to somehow pull it out. You know what I mean?
Well, I
That
think-
comes with success, you know. That comes
Yeah.
with like whenever anyone is successful to a point, you know, you start looking the other way a little bit because it's not exciting anymore. Too much.
I think
success.
what was the saddest about that, I don't want to say sad, Spencer, but like I understand what you're saying. To me, it was the transition from doing crits and doing like kind of the American grassroots style racing. Like, we're just going to pile into the car and go to the next one. And then it became like, you know, taking on Optum at stage races, right? Like it was no longer, hey, we're going to go to Athens to go win Athens.
Right.
And I think that's where the difference was. And that's what obviously they wanted to do, but it does kind of take away from some of that underground, like, oh man, scrappy underdog feel, at least to me.
No, I think you're absolutely right for once.
Wow. Hey, Spencer, can you say that again? It wasn't recording. Maybe just pick up the gain a little bit in your microphone.
That one time
so,
you said something, and you were 100% correct.
The Smart Stop is no more. Hope all those riders land on their feet. For me, I'd really like to see Eric Marcotte go to a bigger and better squad. And by better, I mean a squad that can fully support him. And
I don't think that's going to happen. But
no, and I was really hoping. We'll get to that in a second about Marcotte. Let's go into the other silly season thing. MTN.
We do want to wish the best to the riders on that team. We do hope they get rides everywhere. I hope the owners of the team, Mr. Bennett, finds another sponsor. I want to see them go forward, and
I don't think we said anything wrong. I mean, I think that this team was like the quintessential. They sold out. They bought in, really, right? Like they sold out for money, which was great. Like they made it to the place that we would all want.
I think we can leave it at, we want to see the ownership move forward. We want to see the riders continue to do their thing, and we can leave it at that. How about that?
Okay, cool.
Do you guys want to wish Creed good luck?
Yes. Good luck. Good luck to everybody. I'm a lover, not a hater.
All right. Have fun, Tim. You enjoy that.
This is a new Tim.
Okay.
Hey,
Good job.
guys, with silly season coming so hot, we have MTN Quebeca being linked to signing Mark Cavendish for next season.
Not in a million years. That's my comment on that.
Not
Never
in a
gonna
million
happen.
years.
It's possible. It makes no
Never
sense.
gonna
I
happen.
think it's possible.
Oh, I think this would be the greatest thing
why
to
do you not
happen.
think it's possible? I think it'd be terrible, but why do you not think it's possible, Spencer?
I don't think they have the money. Even if Cavendish said, "Yeah, sure," there's no way they have enough money to do that. It's not possible.
I bet they get the money together for that.
Ah,
I don't. I have to
guys,
disagree.
think about the lead out train though. It'd be amazing.
Every rider who's beaten Cavendish once in the last 10 years would lead him out.
Yeah,
That would be like.
And if
I
Cavendish,
kind of think it's worse if they get him because it's. I mean, you might as well just slap and just beat up all your current sprinters and tell them they're worthless.
talk about changing a
I mean-
scrappy underdog into the hated team. Like, come on, you can't do that.
You don't think that there's anything like?
Cavendish
I still think
scrappy now. He's
still
not good anymore.
see. I think Cavendish still has one quality season left in him. I think that he's just had some horrible crashes and just some bad luck.
Yeah.
I think that
He is a more humble sprinter. That's for sure.
I think that he could have one of those seasons where everyone just kind of writes him off, and then he has some sweet wins, and then he just rides off into the sunset. It would be great. I'm like, even though it probably won't happen, there's just something cool about it.
You're
to
all
me.
kittens and rainbows tonight, Tim.
I
don't
know. I'm
what's
feeling
going on.
good. The Road World Championships, but MTN Quebec, come on, who would be his final lead out? Would it be Bosenhagen?
Yeah, get the band back together.
Or would it be Tyler
Might
Farrar
be Tyler.
with his top knot? Oh,
Well,
man.
When Tyler Farrar wins a Worlds in 2 weeks' time, he is going to not be leading out Mark Cavendish. Let me tell you that.
That's true. That could be.
Guys, do you all right, let's talk about Worlds. Let's start with Tyler Farrar, who is on the U.S. national team.
Yeah.
He's bringing his top knot as probably a team captain, like road captain, like maybe not the protected leader, but definitely the veteran of the team.
Well, if it comes down to a sprint, they're obviously rolling for him.
I
Like
mean-
if it stays together.
So he's filling the void of Frank Rodriguez, maybe, for all those years. Like, he's our top sprinter in America, right? I mean, Tyler is our top sprinter,
Yeah.
right?
So let's run down the team that they have selected. USA Cycling has named Brent Bookwalter.
How many total do they get, Spencer?
They get six,
They get 6.
total
Okay.
men in the men's race. We have Brent Bookwalter, we have Tyler Farrar, Alex Howes from Garmin, Ben King, also from Garmin, and Taylor Finney from BMC, and then a sixth spot yet to be named. Chris Horner.
You think it's Horner? Yeah. Oh,
God, I hope
wait,
it's
you think it's
Horner.
Horner?
If it's not Horner, they're idiots if it's not Horner. It has to be Horner. Think
No,
of all the
like, come on,
excitement
wait,
this will generate.
So first off,
think of all the
Think of all the
internet-
sales of Masters USAC
internet
licenses.
bullshit this will create.
just
Think of all the magic
think-
it will create when he lights it up on one of those climbs.
so here's some questions I have. So let's think about what USA Cycling has to do to make this decision on who the 6th racer is, right?
They're obviously going to
So-
fuck it up and not pick him.
Well-
You know that.
Wait. So here's what they need to do. Here's like the important is like first thing you look at is actually ability to win, right?
Okay.
And
boom. Horner.
there's
Nailed
no
it.
one. There's no one in America that has a chance to win that hasn't already been named to this team.
There is no one in
So-
America who is more popular than Chris Horner.
Wait. So the second thing is,
Let's be serious. There's none of those
Wait.
guys that are on the list have a chance of probably winning this race. Finney maybe
that's
has
not
a little
true.
chance.
No, there's a reason
Horner-
why they're saving the
Horner
sixth. You guys can say Horner all you want. No,
Has a better chance than any of those.
no, he
guys.
doesn't. No, he doesn't.
He does. He does.
Here's why they're not going to pick Horner. Or maybe they've. Here's the other rationale for the pick. You pick
Does he
someone
beat
off.
the guys who run USA Cycling when they were juniors together.
Hey, little
And they're
guy,
also
let me
athletic?
finish the thought process here.
Oh, all
You
right,
either
all right.
pick your mystery rider based off of the ability to win, or you pick it off the ability to sell tickets or media, right? So, what rider fills both of those voids? And so, is there a Virginia rider on this team?
No.
Is Ben King from Virginia?
Ben King
No.
is, yeah.
Okay, so that takes away
he's
the
from
need
Virginia.
for the hometown guy. Like, you need to have a hometown guy to get,
Yep.
mom and pop out on the corner selling lemonade.
Brent
So then it comes
Bookwalter
down-
from nearby North Carolina as well.
So, you really think that
Already.
Horner has the best chance to win? No.
Yes.
It's Marcotte. Take Marcotte.
They're not going to pick
No.
Marcotte.
You're
You know they're
insane.
not.
Holy
They're not gonna
shit,
pick
you're
Marcotte.
insane.
This
Everything I
race-
said a few
I
minutes
know.
ago about Tim being right about something, I take it all back. I take it back.
But he got
That is
silver at the Pan American
incorrect.
at Pan Am
I
Games in
would
Toronto.
love it if they would pick Marcotte, but they're not, especially because, one, this race is 160 miles long. What's the
Yeah.
longest race that Marcotte's ever probably had to do on the American scene?
80 miles?
15 miles?
Yeah,
I said 15. Would you say 80? They
Yeah.
do 80-mile races? Wow.
maybe.
80 miles, yeah. That's like, what was the U.S., like the road championship for the men? It's probably
It
like
was
95
8
miles.
It was,
Yeah.
it was,
It's 160 miles. That's ridiculous.
It's
161
160 miles.
Yeah.
They cannot pick any domestic riders. They've never ridden that far in their lives.
it's true.
So-
they
so-
have to pick a World Tour rider.
So you're going to go with, well, Horner's not in the World Tour. He's
Well,
only
a guy
racing
that was
He's
a
all
guy
right.
that was at the World Tour.
He's going to be okay. Yeah.
Horner rides 160 miles before breakfast. Come on,
So,
he's old. He's got old man power. He's just crushing out those miles.
so Horner, Horner wins the World Championships, right?
Oh, my
Wins the
God.
World Championship. Does he get a ride next year?
No, he doesn't probably. And
And he's still not able to get into the Tour of California.
That's why Safeway is
Yeah.
sending like gift cards to all the USA Cycling management right now, trying to be like, man, come on, we need a world champion on our team. It's gonna be so amazing.
Can you imagine
Little American team.
the world champion not getting into Tour of California? How embarrassing!
It's
that would
not
be.
any crazier than the former Volta champion not being able to get a ride on
No,
a Pro
if
Tour team.
you're an American world champion, that's better than being a
So,
Grand Tour winner.
He didn't not get a ride on a World Tour team. He didn't get a ride on a World Tour team or a decent Pro Continental
Yeah.
team.
It's
he
not
got,
any
like-
crazier.
He
So
got
what other
above
riders are
all-
out there in the pool
It's
besides Horner?
crazier. It's crazier that a Volta winner didn't, because that's 3 weeks of showing that you're a good rider. The Worlds has had some fluke winners in the past, and they always get tons of money.
Igor
and good
Astarola.
Yeah, right? Come on. What a worthless rider.
Hey,
Yeah.
so what's the rationale for them saying they weren't picking their sixth? What
I
was
have no-
the? Did they give a
Probably
reason?
guys like us would do this.
Okay, I'm just curious. So who else is out there? There's Tom Danielson, still hasn't been suspended yet, right? He could come
Yeah.
in.
I think
It's
provisionally
true. They're
suspended.
probably They're
The
probably
B
waiting for
sample
that
hasn't come
reset.
back yet.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that means he's provisionally suspended.
Oh, okay, my bad. So it's probably going to be Horner. It's got to be Horner.
I hope.
Oh man, I really, honestly,
They're not.
I hope
Not even
not.
getting my hopes up.
So
Right.
who has the best American chance? Taylor Finney?
Awesome. Yeah, probably, but not.
I actually think that Tyler Farrar has the best chance.
He is a top
Like,
10.
and
If he gets on
he
the
is
break.
He is a big dark horse. I will give you that every day of the week. But he's been sprinting pretty well. He's not at the pointy end of, he's not Mark Cavendish or whatever, or Kittle, But he's been top 10 at the Tour sprints. He's been, getting top 5s for the last couple of weeks here. And
it's not a sprintery race, so it's a hard man race.
It's kind of a 1-day race, and he's got that too. But so does Taylor Phinney. I want to say so does Taylor Phinney. I just, he's been obviously riding really well, but who's to say exactly how strong those fields are?
It's just that I hope Taylor Phinney can do it. That would be just such a storybook ending. Sorry you don't believe in miracles, but that would be a miracle I'd believe in if Taylor Phinney won. Because of the story with his dad suffering from Parkinson's, that horrible crash at U.S. National Championships over a year ago. Oh man, wouldn't that be awesome?
He's also in the on the list for the time trial, so he could also have a chance there.
Now, as the only one of the three of us that's ridden the Richmond World Championships course, thanks to our host for the weekend, Frank Cundiff.
Thanks, Frank.
Guys, there's going to be some sweet cobbled climbs. There's going to be some long, flat roads. There's a crazy descent, like a long, gradual descent that I would get dropped on. It's a pretty sweet course. And I don't know if you noticed, but Zwift, the kind of trainer video game where you hook up your trainer and you play the video game where you're riding your bike. They actually
play video games.
They created a Richmond World course, so you can hook it up to your trainer, and then your trainer gets difficult, so you can go do that. But I'm excited for Worlds, especially for our live show on September 25th, 10 p.m. Lots of special guests are going to be there, not including Tommy Dumoulin, TJ Van Garderen, arm wrestling, Dan from NAMM.
Ooh. Can I tell you something?
Peter Sagan's going to show up because it's the party. Or he's not going to show up. He's not going to show up.
That's true.
Something like that.
So we talked a lot about the men's side of things. I actually think the U.S. Women's team has a much better chance of walking away with a jersey than the men's team. Megan Garnier is on that team. She is
fire.
crushing it. Also, Ali Dragoo, Shelley Olds, Corinne Rivera, Lauren Stevens, Evelyn Stevens, and Taylor Wiles, who is also a dark horse for this win. That is a strong team. Strong team.
Even a rider like Corinne Rivera, right? Good sprinter. She's been around forever, multi-time national champion. I don't know if Spencer, if you remember, but you and I raced against her on the track in Kenosha back in 2004 when Corinne was 13? She was on her way back from Trexlertown, where she had won a bunch of the national championships in the juniors. And so they were racing both Northbrook and then Kenosha, I believe. So that was really cool. Now, she's one of those riders that can get up some of those short, steep pitches. Not as fast as Garnier. But, she'll be there at the end, we would hope.
Yeah.
Shelley Olds, also the wily veteran of that group. I'm excited for the women's race. I think you're right. But the big story, of course, is that the mountain bike world championships was just last weekend. And we had a triple world champion. Currently, the world champion in cyclocross and road, and now toppling it off with mountain bike. That's kind of like a grand slam of world championships for PFP.
It's pretty ridiculous. I can't see anybody beating her.
It's going to be tough.
It's
Voss coming?
tough. No, I don't think she is. She took the rest of the year off, so
she is okay.
We only have one unstoppable force in the women's race instead of two that would clash and cause some sort of black hole to form.
It's possible.
So that's going to be that. Spencer, you're absolutely right. That is a stacked field. And then also we have at the Richmond World Championships, the U23 men's. We're being led by Logan Owen, who, quite honestly, has a really good shot of being in the top 5 minimum. He's been on the podium at World Cups in cyclocross. He is a well-known athlete in our area. His team is managed by Axel Merckx, which is pretty cool. So he's now going to be the team leader for the U23 men, which also means that Logan Owen won't be at the cyclocross World Cup at Interbike at Cross Vegas in next week.
Yeah.
Or, a week from this Wednesday. So Lots of things happening in Richmond World Championship. Also, they're doing the team time trial, trade team time trial worlds at Richmond too, correct?
Yeah.
So BMC is the current champion there. Now, they don't have TJ Van Garderen, and Taylor Phinney is obviously concentrating on the individual and road. Who do you guys take a stab at winning the trade team world championships?
God, I have
well,
no
we know
idea.
who you're going to say. So I'm going to say Orica Green Edge.
Okay, not bad. Sven Tuft will be there for Kenda. I hope he's in there for the Eureka Green Edge squad. Obviously, I'm going to say Movistar.
I'm going to go with Europcar because they're going to be so pissed off that they had to fly across the world to do this stupid race that doesn't matter. They're going to crush it so hard out of spite.
So when you win...
And then just hit the bars super hard after that. Just like, why? Can you believe it? Wasn't it the Europcar, the manager of Europcar who was complaining that he had to send riders across the world for this stupid race?
Now, what do they get when they win? Like, they don't get special jerseys when they do a team time trial, right? Do they get like
a patch?
It's a patch, okay.
Or
yeah, they don't get to wear stripes.
I hope it's an
iron-on. What's weird is they don't get to wear stripes in the individual time trial. But what's weirder is they don't get to, like, the whole team doesn't get to wear them if they're doing a team time trial, like in the tour or something. Like, it's super strange. So I don't even know why they do it.
What was crazy? Well, they used to do this as a standalone event. Remember, for like 3 years, it was in Denmark when they first came out with the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
When DeLuca won it. I don't know. You know, I get excited more for this idea of just the return back to the World Cup kind of racing, because this whole Pro Tour thing is just ridiculous. But that's obviously agenda for another episode of the Slow Ride podcast. So, do you guys have anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's pretty good. I did see a sweet promoted ad in my Facebook feed for Nash Bar Cycles. I don't know if you guys have heard of this bike shop called Nash Bar, but they had a sweet ad promoting that you needed to wave to all cyclists that you pass.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was pretty interesting. I just wanted to call that out because I actually was like, oh, what's this piece of crap? And then I was like, oh, wait, that's kind of cool. So it says, if you meet a cyclist, any type of cyclist, wave. Yeah. The wave is a sign of respect and shared passion. Cyclists greet cyclists.
Now, guys, we got quite a few tweets from last week's episode about the No Fun Allowed Wednesday night training races. And little guy, there's one of a picture of you racing. Is that a bar end shifter on your cross bike?
Yeah, I think we talked about this already. But yeah, I got a bar and shifter on my cross bike right now.
Not bad. Why is that?
Because that bike, I needed a shifter, so I put the bar end on. It's not like my normal race bike because the teapot broke. So I got a new teapot cycles. I told you all this.
Did you send you have a new teapot and that's good.
I got a new teapot, but I haven't built it up fully. It's almost built up, and then you can look at it and guess what it is.
Is the teapot back from the paint shop and everything?
No, I haven't painted it. I've just left it raw teapot.
How about this one?
So anyway, this is my like kind of around town work bike, gonna do everything bike. So it also it's a cross bike. It works.
Actually, I just want to touch on this. There's I don't know if it's a hot debate in New England, but there was a blog post floating around from a local guy up here, kind of one of the steadfast dudes, kind of one of the Gene Oberpillars, if you will, of the New England area. The guy in the orange jumpsuit at the races. It's always around, always supportive, always pretty nice, good guy. But he wrote a long, kind of sad blog post about how he's getting priced out of cyclocross and how he can't race because he doesn't have carbon wheels and he doesn't have the newest doodads and, disc brakes and through axles and all this crap that's coming up. And it's not like it used to be, and how he's, just not, he can't keep up anymore. And it's depressing.
I'm going to send him a bottle cage.
Yeah. I just want to say, little guy, you're keeping it real for a lot of people out there, and keep it going. Racing the steel bike with the steel fork and the down, no, not even down tube shifter, the bar end shifter.
Well, the down tubes
you're doing it for the people because you're finishing near the front of the race still.
I gotta say. And do you still have hairy legs, or are you shaving them, little guy? Because
the legs are shaved.
Okay.
I thought, I gotta say, I thought the bar end was going to be kind of a pain in the ass to race with.
Yeah.
And it's not at all. It's just fine. It's not. There's only a few times where I probably would shift, normally, and then you don't, and then you just kind of treat it like a single speed. You just have to sprint out of corners that you wouldn't normally sprint out of because you're like, oh well, I'm 2 gears too heavy. Whatever, sprint.
So
it's not.
So it can be done,
man.
is what
I gotta
saying.
say, yeah. Well, obviously, all you need is a pair of cheap tubulars. You need a cheap box section tubulars, and then everything else doesn't really matter. It's all about having tubulars. And then
I agree.
Screw it.
we got a good tweet this past week from Panda Chops, who retweeted a friend, Sarah Connolly, and it was a picture of PFP at the Mountain Bike World Championships as the French team took the mountain bike relay competition. And she's up there in the first place podium holding a very small, it looks like an inflatable bike.
Yeah.
And so the question is,
about the size of a Strider bike.
yeah, it's a picture of a Strider bike, but it's an inflatable. No, it's a Strider bike. It's not inflatable. I'm looking at it now. So the question is that an okay podium bike?
That's hilarious. Why did she? Is it of her sponsor? Like whoever sponsors her? Is it like?
No, it's just kind of like
whatever.
I didn't know they gave away World Championship jerseys for the team relay.
So
which is one woman,
she has
3 men.
4 World Championship jerseys right now.
And then she's holding a Strider, which is just kind of awkward and awesome. And then the Italian team got 3rd, and then it's got all their folks that were at the foam party with us a few years ago.
Yeah.
But what's crazy about this whole thing is is that an illegal podium bike? Because to me, I won't allow it. Because it's a slippery slope. Because, it looks cool, but then before we know it, maybe someone's holding up a BMX bike, and then they slowly get bigger.
Here's the thing. If you brought the bike to the podium, that's a no-go. If the promoter gives you something from one of their sponsors to hold on the podium, that is your responsibility.
Okay. Ooh, I like it.
That's what I would lay it down as.
Okay, thanks for the ruling. Hey, we got a tweet just now from Ted Horowitz, who says, "Hey guys, I took 16th place this weekend at Stage 2 of the Gateway Cup in the 2-3s. I'm proud to say it was my 4th 16th place in 2015. Ted, congratulations.
Consistency.
Nice.
I don't think you need to upgrade.
Nope,
you are
definitely
perfectly where you need to be, and that's okay.
Yep. Someone's got to be there.
So someone does have to be there.
Absolutely.
So, with that,
Wait,
guys,
I got one more thing.
Yeah,
it's small, but let's take a moment. Peepo, I think he broke his collarbone or something.
He did.
Just have a little moment of silence.
Peepo Posado. He's not signed back to Lamprey either.
Yeah, we don't know where he's going. He's got a broken collarbone. He's got expensive tastes. So somebody please help out Peepo Posado.
He'll end up somewhere. He'll end up on his feet.
Do you guys? So this is another thing. I know, Tim, you wanted to be done, but I'm just going to keep going with this. One, Europe Car supposedly has a sponsor.
Chavanel's coming back.
They're gonna live on. Chavanel's gonna move over to that team, which is, hopefully he's okay because he crashed pretty hard today into a railing and he looked like crap last I saw. But do you guys think maybe people could go to that team?
No,
that would be the dream.
It depends on who's
scenario,
No.
But
was Peepo on Alicio Wheels team? Remember the spinner team?
He might have been.
I think he was on Fossa through all that time.
Was he? Okay, because who was the Dolphin? Who's the Dolphin?
The Dolphin is Pelizzotti.
Pelizzotti, because he was on that team. And that seems to me like the quintessential Peepo sponsor, like a flashy wheel company, right? Check out the rims. And, what French team could possibly be cool enough for Pipo? Like, what type of French manufacturer? You gotta...
Renault.
Ooh. Because...
You both were like, oh, yeah.
Well, because I'm thinking about...
On that bombshell.
I'm thinking about how Pipo, he's done such a great job representing industrial sheet metal that we use in in washing machines and refrigerators for lamprey. That, where could he possibly go that can match that?
I've been buying way more industrial sheet metal since he joined that team. No, he was Spencer's totally right. Mappe, Fossa, Quickstep, Liquigas, Katusha, Farnivini, Neri, Satorlia, or whatever, and Lamprey.
And with that, perfect pronunciation and career bookends from the little guy.
Yeah.
We'd like to
don't
thank
question
you.
my people knowledge.
We'd like to thank you for listening to the Slow Ride podcast. As always, we appreciate those who subscribe and tell their friends about us, write reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, and we'd also like to thank BK1 of Rhymesayers Entertainment for the intro and outro, and our friend Love Lost, Love Found for the voiceover.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also really appreciate all of our fans that have bought tickets to our live show in Richmond, Virginia.
How many have we sold?
The Friday night of the World's Week. I don't know the number, but you can buy tickets. You can go for the lovely Coalition Theater in Richmond. It's right on the course, right downtown. It's going to be awesome. So go to bit.ly/slowrva. And that'll take you to the page where you can find tickets. So please continue to do so. It is a small theater. We're not that popular, so the seating is limited. So you're going to want to get on those sooner than later. I would hate to see anybody miss out.
Yeah.
I hope we turn people away at the door. Oh my gosh.
It's possible.
That would be
we should mention that the Coalition Theater does have a booze license, an alcohol license, so it's not a dry show. It's worth the $5 to get in. Just
trust me, you're going to have to drink to get through that 30-minute of entertainment. Well, guys, I think the number one rule here that we have to say, and like has been spread on Twitter, always, always, always wave at your fellow spandex clown suit wearing nerds. Because they're on a bike, just like us. And with that, don't be the guy. Don't be that guy. That's right. Nailed it.
You nailed it.
Yep.
Perfect.
All right.
Don't be the guy.
The Slow Ride Podcast. Bikes, advice, and rumors straight from the source. TheSlowRidePodcast.com and on Twitter @TheSlowRidePod.